Hi. All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for our webinar on maximizing your membership with our Empire Advantage. We're going to talk a lot about our Empire Advantage program today. But before we get into those specifics, I wanted to introduce myself and talk to you a little bit about some of the other things. The detail is going to be Empire Advantage. But we can't miss an opportunity to talk about some of the other benefits and options for New York Bio members. I am Jennifer, the CEO, and I'm very glad that you're with us today. So if you are a member, you already know these things. If you are member curious, you might be here to learn more about the organization as a whole. So New York Bio is the leading advocate for the life science industry across the state of New York. We have members from Buffalo to Long Island and all in between. So we are very excited that we unite hundreds of organizations of all sizes and we engage in collective action and advocacy. You might be like, what is that? It takes various forms. As we look to support policies that foster innovation. And at the end of the day, we keep sort of as a North Star, right, our relationships with patients and our ability to help create therapeutics, treatments, and modalities that ultimately will improve patient lives. So one tactical way we do this is by advocating at the federal and the state level. I was in DC last week working on the Small Business Innovation Research grant program at the federal level. I was supposed to be in DC again this week, but the snowstorm got in the way. So if you're watching this later, we are recording this in late January. And so we had a pretty major snowstorm that shut down DC. And then we also engage in state lobbying in Albany. In fact, we will have a legislative networking reception in Albany on February 9th, as well as our advocacy day on February 10th. So, we do host about monthly New York Bio events. There is always an opportunity to network with the broader community at different events across the state. And as this stat tells you, last year, I think we had over 1,200 unique registrants. We have a lot of people that come to our events, so it's a really good opportunity to meet other people, whether you are looking for new customers, new employees, new jobs, right? All those options. We have all of the different pieces of a bioscience ecosystem together under one tent at New York Bio. So, Chris, next slide, please. So these are the actual dates upcoming. You can find all of this information on the New York Bio website, so you don't have to feel like you have to scramble to write it down. But you can see the broad swath of the types of things we do. So advocacy in Albany, Finance Summit in May. We have our Patient Engagement Summit before that in April. And then Innovation Summit, which is our largest event and most broad interest area event of the year, September 30th. Finance Summit, Patient Finance and Innovation Summit are all located in Manhattan. Obviously, the Albany things are in Albany, shocking. And then we'll do other things. We'll also have a fly-in in April where we take member companies to Washington, D.C. and to Capitol Hill to meet with our delegation. So those are all things that you can look forward to as a New York Bio member. So. And with that, thank you for your time. I am going to turn it over to Chris to take us through the rest of the program. Thank you.
Thank you, Jennifer. And hello, everyone that's joining us on the call today. My name is Chris Kiesel. I'm the Director of Member Engagement at New York Bio. So you can look at me as the person that makes all the membership work regarding the Savings Consortium, the connecting of new members, making sure that people are connecting at a high level, whether it's making introductions or any way to make sure that whether it's, before, during, or after any events, we're making sure that we are all connecting, continuing these conversations to grow our ecosystem. So thank you everyone for being on the call today. Like Jennifer mentioned, if you are already a member of New York Bio, you may very well be aware of your benefits that you already have. But if you are getting a refresher or if you're looking to join the New York Bio ecosystem, our benefits and not these are just kind of a few highlights. Jennifer had mentioned the advocacy portion, as well as all of the events that we do. But here are a few kind of extras that might be of interest to, or just kind of, expanding on the benefits that you're already using. So our engagement, like Jennifer mentioned, we do have all of these events, 18 to 20 events a year. And, like the summits that we had mentioned, we will have a smattering of other events around the state, whether they are, receptions to, networking receptions, small company pitch days that we call our mini pitch days. Really, whenever there's a need for New York Bio to be at an event or drive the conversation or, bring people together, we'll make sure that not only is it on our website, but we're communicating that not only through, channels like these, but being a member of the organization, you will be able to, subscribe to our newsletter, take action within that newsletter. If you're having your own events that will drive the conversation or drive activity within the area, we want to make sure that our events, obviously, we know that we're not the only ones that put on events in New York City. We want to make sure that our community that also drives the engagement and the growth of our ecosystem has a platform to speak on, so we can absolutely, support you there as well. So the engagement through our events, we absolutely promote that. The marketing and communications, like I had mentioned before, not only can we, amplify your voice through our newsletter that we do every Thursday, but anything on social, we try to be very active on LinkedIn and making sure that we are, whether it's me, Jennifer, or anyone else a part of our organization, are liking, amplifying the voice and making sure that everyone, for a trade association like ours, our strength comes behind the amount of members that we have, and the more people that are backing each other, the louder our voice gets, the more impact we can make. And like at the end of the day, like we mentioned, hopefully that translates into changing patients' lives. The business development aspect of it. So with a lot of companies, if you're a legal practice, accounting practice, headhunter, CRO, CDMO, CMO, we want to make sure that you're making, getting an opportunity to not only get out there and meet new potential clients or connections, but that these are meaningful, actual, kind of need driven conversation. So what we do is, if there's anyone that wants to get connected within our circles, we have one way that everyone connects, and that's through our community portal that comes out every single event. So whenever you register for an event, you have access to our community portal. It gives you access. It's like any bio partnering kind of portal, where you can see who's registered, opted into the visibility of having people know that they're attending the event, and then have setting up meetings before, during, after, making sure that people are connecting at a high level. And then on kind of the more personal note, if people are looking to make those warm connections and seeing if there's an actual need that you can have a conversation around, you can reach out to me, Jennifer, or anyone at New York Bio and say, I would love to, make a connection with company XYZ, or, so and so at, XYZ company. And we will make sure to do a personal outreach to anyone that you would like to meet. And if there's a connection there, if the person on the receiving end says yes, this would be a great opportunity to spend 30 minutes or an hour with someone, that goes a long way, rather than sending cold emails and having them end up in a junk folder, or just falling on deaf ears. So we want to make sure that we are facilitating these introductions and fostering warm conversations. So, and then last but not least, for the membership benefits, and this is kind of the one that we are harping on today, with Carrie being here from ALT, our purchasing program, which we have recently rebranded to our Empire Advantage cost savings program last year. And this is a curated list of partners that have partnered with New York Bio to be able to, or to give our members the ability to, purchase at a, significant discount. Last year, our members saved right around $14 million. So that's a really great accomplishment just for the New York Bio ecosystem. But on a grander scale, this gives, companies of the smallest, size, the ability to purchase as a large organization, such as a Pfizer, a Merck, a Vertex, giving you that power. So just to dive into that a little bit more, $700 million in aggregate savings throughout the entire program, from every state association. So that is a a phenomenal achievement for the companies that opt into a New York Bio or any other state to be able to provide these types of discounts, to provide this impact at such a scale. $830 million in spending. So that goes into the prices that we are able to get companies like yourself and be able to negotiate these specific contracts. So this gives you that purchasing power of a large organization for any scale or size company within the New York Bio ecosystem, to which we have 4,500 companies enrolled in this program. So not necessarily the New York Bio program, but all of our state affiliates. 4,500 companies have come together to create this purchasing program and make sure that companies that enroll today, tomorrow, or anytime this year get the backing of these discounts, these aggregate savings, and have access to a program like this. For people who are still wondering if the program is can help them or is it right for them in any way, just letting you know, if you have any of these questions, if you enroll in a New York Bio membership, you get instant access to these companies, these savings. This is an instant gratification, certain thing where if you're using any of these companies right now, or if you're just saying we could definitely use a certain product or a service, definitely refer to this list of offerings first before you go anywhere else, and you should just compare the prices, because at the end of the day, if we can stretch every single dollar that your company spends, that could really go a long way. The due diligence is really done by our partners and making sure that every partner that is within our program is useful to any company, whether you're a small company, a large company, a support organization that supports life science companies. Every single partner within this program has been, curated to be able to support the life sciences ecosystem. And, whenever there's a way to save money, we want to make sure that everyone has access to it, not just our life science companies, but our support organizations and everyone else in between. And then, like I mentioned, these offers are tailored to everyone. So making sure that everyone has the inclusiveness to be able to join this particular program. So here's a quick snapshot of all of the partners, with an exception of a couple that are not featured in this at the moment. We're going to add those in later. But if there's any questions regarding can I save through this program, what particular, I'm looking to buy XYZ, is there a partner that can help me save in this area? Feel free to reach out to me, Jennifer, or anyone on the team. We can absolutely walk you through this or get you connected with a certain partner to do, any type of cost analysis to see if this is worth your while or if this is going to benefit you. Some people in our organization, and I think it's an average, save right around, I think it's $20,000 to $30,000 annually by just using one partner. So the more partners you use, you can amplify your savings. And at the end of the day, for the investment that you make within the New York Bio community, we want to make sure that you're getting a return on that investment and saving. So I would say 95% of the New York Bio ecosystem make their dues back in the savings that they do in the program. So a significant return on investment for everyone. So hopefully this is really helpful. But to drive down into one of our partners a little bit, our featured partner of the day, I wanted to introduce Carrie Klein from ALT. Carrie, thank you so much for being a partner of ours, and I want to give you the floor to be able to talk about ALT a little bit further.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Chris and Jennifer. Also, thanks to New York Bio for hosting this today, this webinar, and inviting us to participate and share a little bit about what we do. So ALT is part of the BioBusiness Solutions program, and we are the preferred provider for surplus laboratory equipment and premium refurbished laboratory equipment as well. So through this partnership, we ensure that our clients get the greatest return on their equipment and solutions that we offer. We essentially work in the life science community to acquire, sell, and what we acquire, we refurbish and put back into the ecosystem. A little bit about ALT, founded in 1999, so been here for 26 years working with the life science community. Pride ourselves in our relationships with our clients, especially love our repeat clients. And really are a full-scale, customer-focused organization that tries to customize what we do. Sometimes we work with labs that have one or two people, and then we work with very large organizations and everything in between. And those have very different needs, and we try to be available for what those organizations need from us. So essentially, what we like to say is the differentiator from what we offer in the space is that we offer lifetime support. We have we have company service units that go out to our clients through the lifetime of their equipment as needed. We are located not far from New York, depending which part of New York. We're in Connecticut, but we do work globally. But we like to keep our relationship with New York because we're right down the road, essentially, compared to the rest of the country. We also, everything we bring in-house, we also refurbish to OEM specs. So that's done in-house. It's not farmed out. We manage that ourselves. Because what we do have is refurbished equipment. We generally say it's 50 to 80% off retail. We quite often have in-box brand new equipment as well. And that I'll talk about that in a little bit. That goes to the surplus side. We find that sometimes organizations buy equipment that they don't use, and they look to us to help them regain that value back. As part of the member benefit, there's an automatic 1-year warranty on all equipment that goes out. All of our equipment, if you're not in the program, is a 90-day warranty, but that's an automatic benefit of the BBS program. We also pride ourselves in having a very large inventory. It changes all the time. If there's something an organization is looking for and maybe it's not on our website, it might be in-house. We just haven't gotten it up there. That's how often things change. So it's worthwhile reaching out to see if there's a specific need. Our team is very skilled in acquiring equipment if needed, if it's very customized. So it's worthwhile asking. And then another very large piece of what we do is offer surplus strategy to organizations. With that being said, and this is just an overview, and I'll touch on this in a second, we also offer payment solutions in-house as well. Not a bank solution, it's an in-house program that we offer. Okay, maybe switch to the next slide. So when I talk about the surplus strategy solutions that we offer, it could be equipment that is idle, that a laboratory is not using. We are interested whether that's one instrument or an entire lab. We offer free valuation. It's worthwhile finding out if you have equipment that is just not being used in your laboratory setup, that we might be able to take care of it, take it off your hands, recap some revenue from that. Another option, and again, this speaks to the customization that we offer. We find a lot of organizations will use that towards acquiring new equipment from us. You do get a higher valuation rate if you choose that option. Laboratories move. We help with relocation. We can do everything from white glove, manage the entire process, to just buying the whole lab. And sometimes that's easier for organizations to do. We also if a company is dissolving, we'll also take care of that from the beginning to end. So I think there's some comfort there knowing that we have different levels of options available if a laboratory is looking to either get rid of one piece of equipment or clear out a whole location. Next slide. So then I touched on some of the savings that New York Bio members have through the program with our company. We offer an annual $1,500 gift card towards purchase, automatic 15% off list price. So given that our equipment is already about 50 to 80% off retail, there's quite a savings there. And we find that the joining is really worthwhile for that benefit alone. The 1-year warranty, we also offer quarterly promotions, which range from free shipping I know this quarter we're offering a buy one, get one free for specific equipment. And then that'll change second quarter. So it's worthwhile taking a look. We will do free valuations, and then we specialize in turning surplus equipment into cash or credit. We also have a payment program, which we call Science Now, Pay Later, and we offer preferred rates from that and also waive some of the application fees. That process I'll get into is really we have someone managing that in-house, and it's very streamlined. Next slide. So our Science Now, Pay Later is again another area of customization that we offer. We have two areas that are very common. One is breaking it into a 13-month payment. Another is we offer anywhere from 12 to 60 months. Again, whatever is most helpful to the organization. It's a one-form process. There's no personal guarantee required. It's asset-based, which is especially helpful to especially early stage laboratories. And this program was developed as a result of ALT working with so many smaller to mid-sized companies who if they wanted to spread their spend and just hang on to some of their capital throughout a year and spread out payments. So this is something we started doing a little over 2 years ago because of the need for organizations to have that option. So we like to say, what's easier, saving cash or raising cash? So you can hold on to that a little bit, and there's a little security there when you have that option. The next slide. And that's really it. I appreciate the time to be able to share what we do. I'm happy to answer any questions. And even if you think of them after, you can always find me online, and I'm happy to answer.
Well, thank you so much, Carrie. And yeah, if anyone has any questions, we want to keep this as open as possible. Feel free to throw a question in the chat. We'd love to answer it in real time. But if not, we understand that some of the questions might take a little bit longer, so we can absolutely answer them over email. You can feel free to reach out to Carrie, Jennifer, or myself. We'd be happy to answer those questions. And one of the things that I wanted to kind of from watching Carrie's, presentation. Some of the members in New York Bio, these small early stage companies, Carrie provides a $1,500 annual credit. A lot of these members, your membership is either free or well below that $1,500 mark, and that's a value in and of itself. That helps you pay for your membership year over year over year over year. So feel free to absolutely reach out to Carrie, utilize these benefits. Feel free to ask us any questions you may have. It doesn't look like we have any in the chat right now, but we are recording this presentation for YouTube. So if you ever wanted to go back and review it later, feel free to. And with that, I'll give Jennifer the floor for some closing statements.
Thanks, Chris. Yes, thank you all so much for joining us today. And if you're watching this later, you, as Chris said, you know where to find us and to find Carrie. So if you have specific questions, that is super easy. With that, I hope this information was helpful to you today. We are generally doing our onboarding webinars once a month, so you can look for another one, and we'll feature another one of our Empower Advantage Savings partners next month. With that, keep an eye on the website, come join us at the events we do, and take advantage of all the membership benefits. So with that, have a great afternoon. Thanks so much.
Thanks so much. Bye-bye.